Hello, and welcome to Overview of Matching Funds Requirements. This video provides an overview of matching funds requirements for the U.S. Department of Education's discretionary grants, in particular Teacher Quality Grant Program opportunities such as the Teacher and School Leader Incentive Fund Program, the Teacher Quality Partnership Program, the Supporting Effective Educator Development Grant Program, and the American History and Civics Academies Program. This video is one in a series of learning engagements aimed to help potential applicants create compelling and high-quality grant applications. The purpose of this video is to support potential applicants in understanding matching funds requirements. In this video, we'll provide information regarding discretionary grant program matching funds requirements, considerations of matching funds requirements as a part of sustainability planning, and directions for how to address matching funds requirements in the budget as part of an application for a discretionary grant program. While some of this information applies to all applicants, specific grant program budgetary requirements will be provided by the program office. A discretionary grant competition timeline consists of 4 steps. Planning to apply, application preparation and submission, application review, and award notice. Planning for matching funds requirements and submitting a budget for a discretionary grant application successfully occurs in the application planning and preparation step. There are other important considerations for planning a budget for a grant application. Please see our video on indirect cost rate agreements for more information to consider. Let's review the matching funds requirements. Many discretionary grant programs have requirements for grant recipients to obtain matching funds to support project activities for each year of activities supported by the grant. Federal funds provided as part of the discretionary grant programs are intended to serve as seed money to support design and implementation of projects. Thus, these matching funds are part of an expectation that the grant program will work towards sustainability of successful project initiatives after the grant funding ends. Applicants will want to be prepared for how to continue the project after the grant funding ends. Thus, matching funds begin the process of identifying how to embed personnel, processes, and resources within organizations to make grants sustainable. While the initial planning of a match may seem daunting, we encourage applicants to stay with the process of understanding the matching funds requirements and know that it is possible to make a match, because it usually requires creative ways to think about match and long-term sustainability. The matching funds requirements goes hand in hand with your sustainability planning. We encourage applicants to propose projects that are sustainable after the grant funding ends. Therefore, applicants should gauge the project size and match on what is reasonable to sustain both during and after the grant period. Most discretionary grant program recipients must meet statutory matching funds requirements by obtaining matching funds or in-kind contributions from non-federal sources equal to a predetermined percent of the total cost of its project for each year of activities supported by the grant up to 100%. Applicants will need to refer to the notice inviting applications and program statutory requirements for information on the matching funds requirements for the program, how the non-federal contributions is calculated, and what is acceptable as in-kind or cash contributions. As previously mentioned, generally, matching funds must be provided in cash or through in-kind contributions from non-federal sources. As you prepare to consider ways to meet the matching funds requirements within a broader plan for program sustainability, it may be useful to consider some examples of costs, services, or in-kind contributions that have met the matching funds requirements paid with non-federal funds. These include, but are not limited to, personnel or employee costs associated with management or administration of the grant project, or time spent participating in grant project activities such as participation in professional development or mentoring, coaching, or teacher leadership. Non-personnel or non-employee costs relating to the implementation, management, or administration of the grant project, such as training-related supplies, technology integral to the grant project, costs of tuition, fees, or other services provided by institutions of higher education, IHEs, related to implementing the grant project. If you have any questions about whether a particular source is an acceptable in-kind contribution, please contact the program office. Matching funds, cash or in-kind, may come from one or more entities or partners on the grant. However, not all partners are required to contribute. We encourage applicants to think about matching funds within the context of a partnership. Most grants usually operate within a partnership context, and applicants should think about ways to distribute the matching funds requirements across all partners if possible. As part of preparing for and submitting a discretionary grant application, applicants must submit a proposed budget and budget narrative to identify the proposed uses of grant funds, as well as identify the source and description of the proposed annual matching funds. In the budget, applicants will need to show how it intends to provide matching contributions on an annual basis relative to the annual budget amount of the grant funds, and must provide assurances of its ability and intent to provide matching contributions throughout the period of performance. If awarded a grant, the grantee would need to secure the proposed non-federal matching funds and in-kind contributions in time to use during the project years as articulated in the approved grant application. Here we provide a brief overview of the general matching funds requirements across discretionary grant programs. Grant applicants should read the statutory guidelines for a full list of matching funds requirements specific to the grant program they are applying for. The department has several pertinent requirements applicants should note as they prepare their budget for application. The department prohibits non-federal funds or contributions being used as a match for one federal program to be used as a match for another program. All charges claimed as part of a non-federal match or cost share be allowable if paid with federal grant funds. Matching funds are governed by and valued on the basis of provisions in the Code of Federal Regulations, CFR, from 2 CFR Part 200, the Uniform Administrative Requirements, Cost Principles, and Audit Requirements for Federal Awards. Generally, it is required to use grant funds to supplement and not supplant current projects. If awarded a grant, grantees will use grant funds to supplement and not supplant state and other federal funds used in carrying out project activities. Grantees may not be able to use grant funds to pay for activities that are already being carried out or that must be carried out by the grantee or its partners with federal and state funds. Therefore, any state and other non-federal funds or contributions treated as matching funds must supplement other state and non-federal funds that, in the absence of the funds used for the match, would be provided for grant-funded activities. For some programs, the supplement not supplant rule applies to local funds as well. Please refer to the program's statutory requirements for information on how this applies to the grant program you are applying to. As you plan for meeting the program's statutory matching funds requirements and begin the process of identifying how to embed personnel, processes, and resources within your organization to make your proposed grant project sustainable, you will want to ensure you read through all pertinent information for the discretionary grant competition you are applying for. Some resources you should review to learn more about the guidelines for matching funds requirements specific to the grant program you are applying for are the Program Statute, Notice Inviting Applications NIA, Grant Application Package, and Program-Specific FAQs. This concludes our summary of the matching funds requirements for discretionary grants programs. We hope that you will consider applying in an upcoming competition. Thank you for watching.